This is despicable.
Du bist ein Facharzt für Bluttransfusion. Würde es nicht funktionieren, wenn du dir einfach Blut so irgendwie verabreichst oder sowas? Frag für einen Freund.
This is despicable.
Na gut, komm. Keine Angst, du wirst ihm gleich folgen. Ach, deswegen Blei. Laden wir mal die auf. Hat sich ja schwer gelohnt. Hey! Klar, der kann sich so schnell drehen. Mal gerade hier so ganz kurz ein bisschen weg, bisschen regenerieren und dann holen wir uns den Kerl auf jeden Fall gleich. Ratten? 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 Nee, keine Ratten. Schade. So, schauen wir mal, ob der Typ auch regeneriert, ha? Juhu! Naja, nicht ganz fair, aber... Wir sind ein Vampir, wir müssen nicht fair sein. So, da seht ihr. Geht doch. Zack. Gucken wir doch mal, was hier los ist. Huh?
It's locked, all right. I cannot enter.
Okay, hier kommen wir nicht weiter. Aber warte mal, hat man hier irgendwo auch noch eine Nebenquest? Können wir die auch irgendwie aktivieren? Gerade mal gucken, Sekunde. Achso, nee, die lassen wir natürlich entsprechend da drin. Machen wir hier einfach, keine Ahnung, Knüppel rein. Ah, und dann können wir hier natürlich entsprechend, okay, aktive Pass. Was haben wir hier? Das ist dieser Nebel, oder? Den Schattennebel würde ich tatsächlich lieber mal da drin haben. Keep out. Ja, du weißt, da steht. Muss ich uns ja nicht unbedingt dran halten. Okay, hier geht's noch nicht weiter. Können wir hier durch? Ah, können wir. Sehr schön. Sehr schön, sehr schön, sehr schön.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
67 Meter in die Richtung. Ja, gucken wir doch mal. Und Schrotpatronen, okay. Also diese Wachen gehen mir ja echt auf den Keks, gell? Das klang nicht gesund, tatsächlich. Zigaretten und einen Ring. Oh ja. Können wir dann der Vampirin im Krankenhaus entsprechend einen Antrag machen.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reid, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reid.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Stufe 3. Können wir? Können wir? Oh ne, wir sind Stufe. Wie kann ich das denn wieder leveln?
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
Wie geht es den Anwohnern, Leute, denen nicht aus dem Weg gehen sollen? Ja, Frau Mann.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Ich will die fressen. Einfach nur, weil die Leute verarscht. Da brauchen wir Hinweise für.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
Vor allem, die Alte redet von Betrug, weißt du?
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Was haben wir denn hier? So Mixtur. Mixtur, ein größtenteils lateinischen Liste der Inhaltsstoffe. Dieser Gegenstand kann in wiederverwendbare Fälle zerlegt werden. Glasfion, Eisen, Codein, Opium. Ne, also die alte
When
Fresse.
science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again.
Ja, ja, du mich auch. Priven.
Its effectiveness has been proven by many. Even
Bist du einer von der Wache von Priven? Wer bist du denn?
Good evening, sir. Do you remember me?
If you're here for a reward, you'll be sorely disappointed. But I'll gladly shake the hand of a fellow countryman.
I'm not here for a bounty. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reid from the Pembroke.
A doctor? In Whitechapel? What an opportunity. My name's Bates. Cadogan Bates.
Do you require assistance, Mr. Bates?
Not me, but your skills could help a lot of people round here. That would help my business, because I say, a live tenant's a paying tenant.
It's unusual to see someone so happy around here, especially considering the current situation.
Why should I be sad now? There've always been wars, disease, tragedy. There always will be.
That's an unusual way of seeing things in these trying times.
I don't see why I should shed a tear for another man's woes. I'm healthy, and I intend to stay so.
Ist auch
What
so ein
is
Typ,
your business
wo ich sag,
I
den
offer
vermisst
fair
keiner, wenn man den
lodgings
frisst.
for a modest price to the poor and weary of Whitechapel.
I see. And what about those who cannot pay?
Well, deals can be done, if you know what I mean. Money's not the only currency. After all, I'm not immune to a pretty face.
Darf ich den fressen? Bitte, bitte, ich mag den fressen.
I don't approve of your actions, but I know very little about this borough other than its reputation. There are always necessary evils.
A necessary evil. Was one way to think about it. Knew you had more smarts than all these immigrants.
Boah. Der ist erkältet, ne? Den könnten wir doch helfen.
Since I took an oath to help people, can I be of assistance?
Well, seen better days, that's for sure. But it was bound to happen with all these refugees about.
Infecting you is probably the last thing on these people's minds. Take this, in any case.
What? You give me this for free? Don't have a clue about this place, do you?
So, und gleich holen wir uns ein paar Punkte.
You seem to have recovered well since your attack. Do you ever think about what happened to you?
Not much. It was a fucking nightmare. Savages, absolute bloody savages. Their appearance. Jesus. Made me want to puke.
You'd better not come back here. I won't be around next time to save you.
Wir fressen ihn eh.
I want to know everything about the recent violence, Cadogan. And I want the truth.
Well, rent may be a bit high, and yeah, I've had to evict a few people. But that's business, isn't it?
Nein.
Sir, I wish I had found you a few nights later than I did. Or maybe never at all. Death would have been a well-deserved punishment for your villainy.
Yeah, but you
Definitiv.
saved me, didn't you? And you do it again, because you're a decent chap. Just know I'm not.
Take this as my final warning. You will not profit from the misery of others. Business is one thing, but what you do is quite another.
Really? What you gonna do? You ain't from here. You ain't Whitechapel, Doctor. You wouldn't know the first thing about playing dirty, even if you wanted to.
Ach, weißt du, mein Freund. Der verdient es einfach. Es tut mir leid, er verdient es. Er verdient es. Und er wird ausgesaugt.
Was I that evil to deserve such punishment? My only regret is that no one will mourn me. For I have never been loved.
Tja. Der ist weg. Und ich bin nicht böse drum. Nicht böse.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reid. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Okay, der hat eine Bronchitis, okay. Was er im Schilde führt. Finde Hinweise, was Darius im Schild führt. Okay, das Haus scheint ja komplett dem zu sein. Können wir... Nein, können wir nicht.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nethercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
Okay. Darius ist die rechte Hand von Dorothy Crane. Ja, Bronchitis. Haben wir da ein Mittel gegen dabei? Weiß ich gar nicht. Die werden wir auch noch. Das sage ich euch. Ja, den haben wir ausgelöscht. Ja, der hat Bronchitis. Ja, hier fehlen uns tatsächlich noch einige. Im Krankenhaus fehlen uns auch noch 2, 3. Stabil. Okay, da müssen wir was tun. Erschöpfung müssen wir behandeln. Erschöpfung müssen wir behandeln. Kopfschmerzen. Clay Clocks, ja, da haben wir auch einiges für. Der ist auch erschöpft. Ja, da können wir gleich mal...
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Warum haben wir denn jetzt mal wieder 2? Wer bist du denn?
Welcome, sir. Please take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reid. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Tja, dann würde ich sagen, erzähl doch mal ein bisschen was von dir. Wie läuft das
How is
Geschäft?
business around here?
Business? I had no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
Okay, also haben wir da schon mal wieder jemanden
As a
Neues?
merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
Well, you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned
Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Waren auch wieder so Pseudo-Vampire. Okay, da brauchen wir Hinweise für.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Yes, she's a nurse, and quite a good one. What did she do to gain such notoriety?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Okay, das ist ja grundprinzipiell erstmal nichts Schlechtes. Ich meine, sie hilft den Leuten und macht und tut und...
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Wen haben wir hier? Wer bist du?
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reid, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Meine Güte. Der ist gesund. Ja, dann... brauchen wir Level 3 für, okay.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
Netter Zeitgenosse.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Ja, fragen wir doch mal, ob gerne Leute
How
drangsaliert.
did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Okay.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice you made.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Okay.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Naja, wo sie recht hat, hat sie recht, ne?
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Aber dass die zwei mal beste Freunde waren, das muss der hier uns mal erklären.
Joe, please, I don't have your money.
Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You pay for peace of mind.
Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you?
Fragen wir doch mal.
Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I've known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
Without making excuses for him, it's safe to say that despair can poison even the sanest mind.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against the wet boot boy.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Wo ist denn der kleine Joe hin? Ich wollte den eigentlich noch ein paar Fragen.
Soon the time will come when you will all...
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reid, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Dankeschön, Arsch.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences. And most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Typisch für die Zeit, oder? Dass da so einer der Meinung ist, ja, wir müssen die Stadt reinigen.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
Okay.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists
Ach so, das hatten wir ja ganz am Anfang schon.
are
Entschuldigung.
consequences. And most of them can't
Ja,
see
komm,
Quite a
das Glück
judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science.
Well, you
Oh, ich möchte hier einfach nur raus. Oh Mann.
I am. But the answers I seek are based on... Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Boah, der Typ ist echt,
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
oh Mann, der Typ hat echt einen Schlag nicht gehört.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
Der hasst irgendwie alles, was irgendwie nicht so ist, wie er denkt, oder? Also, können wir, ganz ehrlich, Level 5, na super.
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Man merkt, also, ja, das ist ja, man merkt deutlich, in welcher Zeitspanne dieses Spiel spielt. Und es ist wirklich, wirklich gut umgesetzt.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
Okay, also wir kriegen auf jeden Fall immer mehr Infos
I
über
have
die
heard enough for
Dorothy.
tonight. Goodbye.